Rome had mighty generals, powerful senators, and legendary priests like that one time they brought back that one guy from the dead. But there was one priest whose job was arguably the most pointless in all of Roman history. His title was Curio Maximus, or in English, the most curious priest. Yeah, really, that's what we're talking about today. The title Curio Maximus was established in 188 BC after the Romans defeated the king of Epirus in battle. The exact nature of this dude's power is not known, but he was probably a priest of Zeus, king of the gods in Roman religion. At least he would have been if he actually did anything. But the thing is, he didn't do anything. For centuries, the office of the Curio Maximus remained vacant because no one wanted it. You see, being a priest wasn't exactly a prestigious position in Roman society. The vast majority of priests were ordinary people who could barely eke out a living. Sure, there were some exceptions like Marcius Philippus, who became famous for, well, never mind. But generally speaking, being a Roman priest wasn't much of a career. It paid so little, in fact, that many priests moonlighted as prostitutes. So yeah, the pay was bad, the hours were worse, and there was absolutely zero chance of advancement because this was Rome we're talking about. And so the office of Curiosity Max remained empty until 49 BC, when Julius Caesar named Curio to the position. Well, technically, he didn't exactly name him. Let me explain. You see, at this point, Caesar was at the height of his power, and he used that power to get himself elected dictator. This was a position with practically unlimited authority, and he used that authority to basically do whatever he wanted. He enacted land reforms, reorganized local governments, created new courts. Basically, he just went around Rome doing whatever he thought needed to be done. And one thing he decided needed to be done was to fill the office of Curiosity Maximus. Now, to do this, he didn't exactly hold a formal election or anything. In fact, he didn't even choose a real person. No, Caesar appointed a slave named Attila as Curio Maximus. Yep, you heard that right. For over 300 years, Rome had gone through dozens of dictators, not to mention kings and consuls, and none of them thought it worth their time to appoint a priest of Zeus. But Caesar, in his infinite wisdom, decided that a slave was totally qualified for the position. Why? Who knows? Maybe Caesar thought it'd be funny. Maybe he was trying to send a message to the Senate by passing over an actual priest in favor of a slave. Or maybe he just liked the guy. I mean, according to Suetonius, Caesar liked to watch chariot races with Attila, presumably because chariots were also slaves. Anyway, Attila apparently did such a good job as Curio Maximus that Caesar later freed him and married his daughter. After Caesar's assassination, Octavian, who would later become the first emperor of Rome, briefly held the title Curio Maximus. After that, the position was abolished in 27 BC, and so the most curious priest in Roman history was either a slave or a former slave for a total of 135 years. So why does any of this matter? Well, because it gives us a glimpse into how the ancient Romans viewed religion. Priests weren't just people who performed rituals and sacrificed animals. They were part of the political elite, which is why they often held other positions of power, such as being a senator or even a consul. They were also generally higher on the social rungs than most people. But if they were so important, then why did the Romans go so long without appointing anyone to the priesthood of Zeus? Well, because they didn't need one. See, the Romans didn't believe that their gods needed constant tending. There was no elaborate mythology that they had to keep track of, or rituals that they had to perform on a regular basis. The gods were there if they needed them, but otherwise they just kind of did their own thing. So while other religions might have had elaborate priesthoods with lots of different levels and positions, the Romans didn't. They had the Curio Maximus. So what do you think? Do you know any obscure historical facts that you'd like to share with the world? Well, you're in luck, because now you can share them on our community page. It's a great place to share your knowledge and maybe learn a thing or two yourself. Thanks for watching.